Guy, do you have
All right, so this is a tricky Tosfos because there's two issues that we're dealing with at once.
Use the your laptop.
One issue is
How do we go to snare?
yeah, we thought of that already. One issue is Chazara itself. Okay, and the second issue is the Erev Shabbos business, which I know everybody seems to be struggling with. Okay, so this is difficult in how you approach it because unfortunately we tend to be ravenous when it comes to Svara, so we want to try to get everything done at once. But sometimes you got to divide up in your mind issue A and issue B. Now, I never want to say my method is the method, but the way I approached it is I tried to just isolate Chazara first, just dealing with Beis Shammai Beis Hillel as in the area of Chazara, and then move into the issue of Erev Shabbos versus Shabbos.
Let's put Erev Shabbos on the back.
So, all right. So again, just to review where we left off. Okay. First thing, just forget what we said about the Mishnah yesterday. Just deal with Tosfos. Right. So Tosfos says, first thing he says is that Ilman Asur Lahachzir Asur Afilu B'chol the Beis Hillel Kishena Grufa the Beis Shammai Afilu B'Grufa. Okay, so when you hold Chazar as a problem, you hold Chazar as a problem both on Shabbos and on Chol. That's fact number one. Fact number two is that when you hold it's a problem, Beis Hillel holds it's a problem even when it's not Garif. Excuse me, when it's not Garif. But if the fire was Garif, right, then it would not be a problem of Chazara. Whereas according to Beis Shammai, it's a problem even if it was Garf. All right, so what's that Malchlokas? What do you mean? According to Beis Shammai?
Yeah.
Let's say we did Shehiyah. Even if it's a Garf fire by Shehiyah,
the Chazara.
The Chazara is on, let's say it's on Shabbos. Okay? Don't worry if it's on Erev Shabbos or not. You'll see, I shouldn't say promise, but I'm fairly confident that after we go over the Svara, you'll understand why I approach it this way. But first, so what's...
Repeat.
What? Repeat. David's making a good chiluk. Right? David's saying that one thing you can see is that Beis Shammai is bothered by, excluded Beis Shammai saying that once I take the food off, right? So insofar as my original Hesach Hadas is concerned, that's over. Right? Which means that when I do an action of taking food off the Kira, when I do an action of Katam, what have I now done? I've now said the way I relate to this oven now, this cooking process has changed. Right? So if I take the food off, what am I now saying? That abnormal cooking process that I created is over. It's finished. Okay.
That's the thing.
Well, you mean like you like Beis Hillel? That's Beis Shammai, right? But Beis Hillel is going to say no. Beis Hillel is going to say that when you are garf the oven, I'll just take what he's saying first. Okay, when you garf the oven, but I think David's making a good move. When you do garf a cut from the oven, of course it's true the way you relate to it has changed. But the fact is, this oven now is defined as what?
That's how Beis Hillel holds all the way through. Like that's what Hanan is in is that you look at the
correct
facts as opposed to
right.
You're looking at
right. So he's going to say that, and that's why if I did, that's the unique thing about Beis Hillel. If I did garf and katam on the oven, what do I have in front of me now? You were saying before, what do I have in front of me? I have a katam's oven, right? So now, but what's the okay? So that's good, okay? But you can't ignore das completely. So what Mati was saying with what you're saying together is like this. In other words, if according to Beis Hillel, right? If let's answer this. Let's say I don't do garf and katam according to Beis Hillel. Okay, let's say I don't do garf and katam, right? Why is Chazar a problem?
Why is Chazar a problem?
Yeah.
Because Shem Yafta.
It's Mefsek in Russia. But
right, it's the same thing though.
Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the technicality. Well, why is it according to Beis Hillel?
The problem would be because you're going to be looking at it as it's going to be
right.
You're going to be looking as a
right. In other words, when you didn't, like you said, you didn't change. If you just put on machal benjasai food, but I didn't do a change in the oven, I didn't do katima. So now what? So you can't see the oven's changed, right?
Right.
So but is shehiyah's mutter? It's shehiyah's good. I did a good shehiyah. I made use of the heter of shehiyah. But the problem is that when I take the food off that oven, the oven hasn't. There's no idea the oven's different now, right?
So
right. So that's why Beis Hillel would hold it's a problem. Do chazara.
That's what Beis Shammai holds.
No, Beis Hillel wouldn't hold its problem.
He holds a problem. It's a problem. Let's be quiet. Wait, sure, 1 second. It's a problem for me to do chazara if I didn't do garf and katam in the oven. I'm proving your svara.
Wait, what is the case you're talking about now?
Let's say I have an oven, right, and I didn't do katima on it.
You did not do katima.
But I did shehiyah.
You mean you put food on there?
I put food on there. It's an open flame. Then I take it off, and I want to put it back on again. So Beis Hillel holds you can't do that.
Right. Beis Shammai says you can't do it either.
Right. Now, why does Beis Hillel hold you can't do that?
Beis Hillel says you can't do it because you were never because there was never the initial.
The whole problem here is
that you're
that
not initiating in the first place with it.
No, but there's something. It's like this. In other words, let's do first what you were saying, and then we'll move back to the harder side of Beis Hillel. If I do garf and katam on the oven, Okay, so what's Beis Hillel going to say? Beis Hillel is saying that when you said before it's like a double hesach das, and you're saying it's a change in the oven, take those two and put them together. In other words, what's happening now? What's happening now is that I've removed this entire process, everything about it, right, is removed from cooking. There's no reality of cooking anymore. The oven itself is not a normative cooking oven, right? And what? Cooker, right? There's no reality of bishul whatsoever in this environment. Okay, so therefore, what's chazara going to attach itself to? There can't be a chazara. There's a reality of chazara. Chazara has to be a reality, right? It has to attach itself to something it has to attach itself to in order to be mechsi kibishul, it has to be mechsi kibishul. There's no bishul to speak of here. There's nothing here. I have an oven that is garfed, right? And the food's cooked. It's removed from bishul. The whole it doesn't exist in that phenomenon anymore.
So they both agree that.
Well, according to Beis Hillel, right? Well, let me just finish. But if you say, but the problem is, if I don't make a shinui, if I don't do ketima, hold on. If I don't do ketima, that means that I haven't done what? There's no question. There's some idea of das insofar as by shahiyah. In other words, I'm allowed to do shahiyah, right? Why? Because the food's already cooked, so I'm not worried about shemayachta. But once I take it off, what am I demonstrating?
That you're done.
I'm done, right? And chazara is a what? Is a different maisa.
Is saying that I have a new goal.
Exactly. Yes.
And that
good.
And that the machal ben drusai is not enough. Exactly.
There is no reality of machal ben drusai anymore. You know why? Because chazara is not shahiyah. There's the reality of machal ben drusai only applies in what framework? Shahiyah. But chazara is a whole different ballgame. Right, so he's saying it's a different Maisa. So the whole point is, the question is, when is the Maisa has to attach itself to reality of Bishul? That's Beis Hillel's point. So it can only do that when when I've made use of my het shahiyah and I'm done. But when I do garf and katam plus that, it's not making use of het shahiyah. I've never removed it from cooking entirely. Chazal won't even touch that with a 10-foot pole. If you remember, by the way. See, that's the beauty of learning Rishonim. You see like tentacles everywhere. If you remember, which of course you don't, but if you did, the Baal Ma'or, right? The Baal Ma'or was very concerned about learning garf as meaning removing it from the thing completely. Why?
So
he says, what? Well, that's true, but no, more so because Chazal would never talk about that. Of course, if the coals are removed, it's not a problem. It's a similar thing here by learning Beis Hillel. Beis Hillel is saying that Chazal would never talk about a situation where I have machal ben drusai plus garf katam. Because once I do that, what happens? Now it's not even part of bishul anymore. Okay. Either you can say that there's something called shahiyah, right? And the problem of chazara is always a problem of re-engaging the shahiyah. That's the first way of learning. But I don't think that's how Tosfos is learning. Tosfos is saying there's something called cooking, right? Or let's say Rabbanan. That's the first way we learn the Mishnah.
Yeah.
Right. Now he's saying no. There's an idea of Rabbanan cooking. Now there's there's a process, right? But it's two conceptual things in that process. One is called Shia, and the other one's called Chazara. Chazara is its own Maisa. It's its own Maisa.
So according to Ishame, why if you do...
Now, what are we going to say? For now, that's why I keep telling you, don't worry about Erev Shabbos. And now it makes a lot of sense to say, according to Beis Shammai, why you can never do Chazara on Shabbos, because you can't do what? Garf, right? There's no mechanism. But I want to make sure that's clear. In other words, there's two logical ways you can look at Chazara. You can either say that Chazara is real. There's really something called Shahiyah, and the problem with Chazara is that you're trying to re-engage Shahiyah, right? And therefore, according to Beis Hillel, Shahiyah never ends when I take it off. It's just Shahiyah, right? Chazara is just a way of describing my desire, so to speak, to re-engage Shahiyah, or to say no. In D'Rabbanan cooking, there's two things. There's Shahiyah and there's Chazara. They're two different Maisas. So we have this issue of Mechzi, okay? So now we got to be careful here when it comes to Mechzi, okay? We know the problem of Chazara is a problem of Mechzi Kibishal, okay? So with that being said, okay, you don't have to give a svar for what Mechzi Kibishal is. The svar has to be when is it a problem, okay? Intuitively speaking, when should Mechzi... Well, it should only be a problem on Shabbos, right? In other words, if you're going to say it's a problem Mechzi Kibishal, that should only be a problem when? On Shabbos, right? So Beis Shammai would say that what? So
no, why do you say that?
There's a step. So what's being proposed is that it's only a problem on Shabbos, right? Because on Erev Shabbos, what?
You're talking to the reporter?
Yeah. Because on Erev Shabbos, you're relying on the heter shahiyah, right? So and the issue of shahiyah being culminated, so to speak, only exists when Shabbos itself exists, right? Okay, fine. But let's say you see that, okay? Now, what are the things that are kind of funny? So what's machlokas Beis Shammai Beis Hillel?
What's machlokas?
Yeah. Beis Shammai Beis Hillel really both agree that Chazar is mutter. In the Havamina.
Right. The question is just when does it start?
Oh. You understand? Really, if you learn in the Havamina, Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel both agree that Chazara is mutter.
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 Not on Shabbos.
No. On Erev Shabbos, they would agree it's mutter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just that but Shabbos, what I'm trying to propose like this, intrinsically they both agree it's mutter. It's just that what does Shabbos do according to Beis Shammai?
This allows you from doing garf.
Right. It kicks in. There's a kick in because of Shabbos.
No, but Beis Hillel holds that you.
If you in the Havamina, there's two logical ways you can learn Chazara. You can learn that Chazara is really Asr, right? It's always Asr, right? It's Asr on Shabbos. But if you learn that way, then on Erev Shabbos, because it's not Shabbos, there's no reality to Chazara. There's no Chazara to speak of on Erev Shabbos. That's one way you can learn. Or you can learn that really both Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel agree that Chazara really is as a Maisa is a problem, is mutter. As a Maisa, but when does it become a problem? When it's Mechzik Bishul. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, just you'll see why this
only be present on Shabbos.
What?
Is Mechzik Bishul only
Okay, so that's the second way of learning. The second way of learning is saying that really they both. I know. In the Havamina, they both agree. In the Havamina, they agree that Chazara is mutter. The Maisa is mutter. But when is it a problem? If it's Mechzik Bishul. If Chazara isn't intrinsically Mechzik Bishul, it's a Maisa. But when is it Mechzik Bishul? On Shabbos. So then there will be a problem on Shabbos. It can't be a problem on Erev Shabbos.
Right.
Okay, 1 second. So now why would it be a problem on Erev Shabbos? It says it's Asr on Erev Shabbos, right? How is that possible?
Well, do you want to point to both Havaminas? I think only one of them can play out as Maskana.
Okay.
It's
again. So let's go. What?
That's explain this actually.
Okay, but what do you want me to tell you? I mean, he's working. I'm trying to. So let's go back. What's the svara? So the question is, and the Havamina has two. Again, do you understand the Havamina? The two possibilities in Havamina. In other words, the Havamina says that on Erev Shabbos, right, Chazara is not a problem, but on Shabbos it is a problem, right? Okay. So what I want to propose is that there's two logical possibilities how you learn the Havamina. Either you can tell me that Chazara is really intrinsically a problem. Chazara is bad, right? The Maisa Chazara is a problem, right? So, but then how can it be mutter on Erev Shabbos? Because in Erev Shabbos, there's no reality of Chazara, right? Or do you say no, that really Chazara is mutter, right? It's mutter. It's permissible to do Maisa Chazara. The only thing is that on Shabbos, what happens on Shabbos? It's Mechzik Bishul. Okay.
Either way, one of them will start on Shabbos.
What?
Either way, one of them is going to emerge on Shabbos.
Correct. Now, what I'm saying by the Maskana is, I'm leaning towards the second way. And what I want to say by the Maskana is that the question is now, you have a problem, it's really Chazara should be mutter, right? But the problem is that the question is, when does Mechzik Bishul emerge? Right, so one way to learn it, it's almost like uniting the two possibilities. But anyway, one way to learn is that Mechzik Bishul emerges on Shabbos, which means that the Zman of Shabbos produces the Mechzik Bishul. Chazara is mutter. Shkia hits, it becomes Asr, not intrinsically, but because of this factor called Mechzik Bishul.
Why are you leaning that way?
It doesn't make sense if you think that appearance that it's Bishul.
Right. Oh, but what if you say this? What if you say that no, that when I do a Maisa Chazara, what have I done when I do a Maisa Chazara? 1 second, Dylan. What have I done when I do a Maisa Chazara? So now, in the food itself, okay, I've produced the potential effect of Chazara. In other words, when I do the Maisa Chazara, I've done a Maisa Chazara. Well, of Mechzik Bishul. In other words, I've actually taken the quality of Mechzik Bishul and I've, in a sense, put it into the food itself. In potentia. And when does that express itself? On Shabbos. It expresses itself on Shabbos, but the Zman is not producing it. In other words, of course, this man it'll come out because of this man. But essentially, if I took a bite of this, right? If I took a bite of the steak on Erev Shabbos, therefore there's a reality in Mechzik Bishul even on Erev Shabbos, right? Because even it's true it won't be expressed until Shabbos itself, but that reality exists because when I did the Maisa Chazara, I put and I'm trying to put it like in a physical way. Like I actually took the Mechzik Bishul and I put it into the food itself. That's what the Maisa Chazara is. So that can exist even on Erev Shabbos. Okay? Now the problem is, now the problem is going to be is,
what's Erev Shabbos?
What's Erev Shabbos? That's what Tosfos going to have to ask that question.
Why does Chazara do that though? Put the potentia of Mechzik Bishul in the food.
Why does it work that way?
Yeah.
That's what Tosfos says. I don't know. I can't get past. How can you ask that question? That's a why question. I have no idea. The Havamina, you got to just do what Tosfos says. Tosfos is telling us there's a Havamina to say that you split up Erev Shabbos to Shabbos, and Maskana says no, even on Erev Shabbos. I'm just trying to explain how that mechanism can work. How could it work that even exists on Erev Shabbos? Would you not say the only way that could work is to say that really Chazara shouldn't be a problem, unless you say that the idea of maxi kabishul can even be maxi kabishul is not a din in Shabbos itself. Rather, it's a din that when I do the Maisa, I kind of in a sense put it in, that property exists in the food. But you're right. It's only a problem, so to speak, when Shabbos hits. But the property can still exist in the food. So the property of maxi kabishul exists in the food itself. It's like a din in the food through my Maisa Chazara.
You can't have it in
Why is
Shabbos.
maxi kabishul only related to a chazara and not? Oh, not anything. Yeah, why not you?
She is a problem Shem Yachta.
Right.
Is it
Well,
also a problem? Can it,
No,
can it be?
because think about it. Because what makes it that's more of like a practical question. What makes it look like cooking, right? So what? Yeah, machal ben Josiah. Right. No, because but think about it on a practical level. In other words, if I take food from use an extreme situation, I take food from my refrigerator, right, and I put it onto a heat source, right? So now on Shabbos, just makes it. What have I now done? Forget Erev Shabbos for a second. Just using this ideal format. What have I now? What does it look like I've done? Right, because again, it's similar in format to Shehiyah because there's all the trappings of Bishul, right? It's very similar to that. But you're not concerned you're going to stoke the coals. There's no concern there. Rather, the concern is that you're now again, it's a separate Maisa, but now because it's called Chazara. But the problem is you're re-engaging in that phenomenon of Bishul again. There's a re-engagement in Bishul. That's what it means by Maxik Bishul. You're re-engaging that phenomenon of Bishul again. It's not a problem I'm going to stoke the coals. That's Shehiyah. It's simply the action of taking cooked food.
This sounds very inherent, though, in chazara.
What, Maxik Bishul?
Yeah.
That's the Maskana. That's why the Maskana holds the Maskana.
Uh-huh.
That's why the Maskana says.
So how can that happen? How can that happen again? Meaningful then?
I mean, because of Arish. No, that's what I'm trying to say. There's the Hamina. The Hamina is trying to force us. I think the Hamina is forcing us to appreciate what you're saying right now. But in order to do that, you have to understand in the Hamina why you could propose a reality of it not being a problem in Erev Shabbos. See, what you're saying, I'll prove to you what you're saying actually makes perfect sense. You're saying it's an inherent problem, right? But the Chiddush is to say it's an inherent problem that's even exists on Erev Shabbos.
Right.
You understand? So to prove it's an inherent problem, you have to show that it exists in Erev Shabbos. You understand what I mean? To demonstrate that it's an intrinsic problem, it has to be a problem in Erev Shabbos as well.
It's evident.
That's the Maskana.
I think the Maskana is that it
Is a problem in Erev Shabbos. It's an inherent problem. The Mexican Bishul is even Chal in Erev Shabbos.
Maskana is it is a problem. In
It
Erev
is,
Shabbos.
Ken,
On Erev Shabbos.
on Erev Shabbos.
Okay, now it's not
Right. That's just when it's Erev Shabbos.
Yeah, now the next question is going to be in Tosfos, what the heck does Erev Shabbos mean? I expect you to answer that
Why
tomorrow.
wouldn't it have me say it's